What up, boys? It's Devin. I'm going to break down for you guys the law of attraction. This is a law that I'm currently practicing. I have done hours and hours and hours of research on this subject, as well as I've read a book called The Master Key System, which breaks this topic down in depth. And of all the research that I've done, I've taken the most important things that I learned and put it in a presentation for you guys. I'm going to run through it. Again, I'm living this right now in my day-to-day life. So watch this. Join me on this journey. If you watch this thing to the end, you can immediately start seeing a clear image of the man that you want to become and start living like him, being him right now, so that every single day you are taking practical steps to finally have every single thing that you want in your life. And I'm going to just break it down as quickly as I possibly can, as concisely as I can, for you boys to understand. So let's get into it. Welcome, boys. So we're going to break down the law of attraction. This law is something that is super pivotal to understand if you want to have your dream life, if you want to attract the life that you so desire. So in this presentation, we're going to explore the keys to attracting your dream life. If you do everything we discuss in this presentation, you will be perfectly aligned with the man you want to become. So there's a person that you want to become in your life. There's a better version of you out there. And if you master this, you will achieve it. You will have everything you want, whether that's the car, the clothes, the hose, the fucking physique, whatever the hell you want in your life, you are guaranteed to have it if you apply everything we discuss here in this presentation. So let's just get into it. So the conscious and subconscious is something we have to deeply understand for us to achieve everything that we want in life. The subconscious is the invisible power in which all things have been created. Some call it God, but it's the things that can't be seen. It's the power that we all have within us, within our minds. It is the impersonal. It is the subjective, spiritual, invisible, subconscious, right? Does not exercise choice, but has infinite resources. So let me break this down. This is not something physical. This is our minds. You can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it. It's invisible. It's considered to be our spiritual side, the side that we are connected to God with. It does not exercise choice, but has infinite resources. Our mind have millions and billions of cells and brain cells. We have unlimited resource that we could pull from our mind if we so desire. It's there. We just have to dig deep and find it. So in order for us to truly control our lives, the subjective, the subconscious, needs to be mastered. Now, the conscious is something physical and visible. It's the personal, right? Something that we could touch, something that we could see, smell, hear, that which can be perceived by the senses, right? So the power of will and choice. We can make choices in the physical world with our body, our brain, our nerves. We can make choices to touch something, to hear something, to go somewhere, to do something. But the subconscious operates as its own entity. We do not choose how the subconscious operates, which is why it's so important that we master how to understand our subconscious mind and train it to act in accordance with what we want it to do. We need to prime our subconscious mind for success. So look at this image here. You can see the subconscious mind controls 95 to 99.9% of our brain, and the conscious mind is literally at the best 5%. So when you really think about this, dude, think about how important your subconscious is. Look at this image. Look at this iceberg. Think about your subconscious as the pivotal core of your success, of the things that you want. If you don't master the subconscious, the conscious decisions that you make can only hold so much weight. So the subconscious mind controls all the systems in the body. It is an intelligent field that created a body from a single fertilized cell. It's literal, it's metaphoric, not linear, so there's no distinction between past, present, and future. Your subconscious mind does not understand the difference between reality and between what you tell it. Let me repeat that. Your subconscious mind does not understand the difference between reality and what you tell it. I remember when I first got on my self-improvement journey, and I wanted to become this version of myself I hadn't yet been. I had to lie to myself and tell myself that I was this person. For example, the bad habits that I had, like sleeping in, like skipping the gym, I had to lie to myself and say, I don't sleep in. I don't skip the gym. When I was getting rid of vices, I had to lie to myself and say, I don't vape. I don't drink. Even though it was something I just decided to do, I told myself that I don't do these things. Not that I'm trying not to. No, I said I don't do these things because the subconscious mind does not know the difference. So when you start subconsciously saying, I don't do these things, when you start consciously saying, I don't have these vices anymore, your subconscious will eventually start to believe it, and you will adjust accordingly. So we need to train our subconscious mind. So we need to use that 5% of our conscious mind to train ourselves to become that version that we want to become. The next step is visualization. This is the process of making mental images, a mold/model that we will serve as a pattern from which your future will emerge. So basically, visualization is when you're thinking and you're creating this image of what you want your future to look like in your head. This is a skill that is really important if you want to really, manifest your future. Now, when you're visualizing your future, make it clear and make it beautiful. Do not be afraid. There's no limitation that can be placed upon you. The only one who could place a limitation on you is yourself. Right? So when you really think about this, think about everything that you want, the man you want to become. What does he look like physically? What weight is he? What body weight is he? What is his physique like? How does he talk? How does he dress? What is his profession? What are his habits? What are his relationships like? What does his spouse look like? Visualize every single detail. Does he have tattoos? What does he look like? Mentally, physically, spiritually? What does that person do? What is that person's habits? What kind of friends does that person have? Think of all these details and make it clear. Don't be, gray area on this subject. Make it very clear and make it beautiful. So think of the absolute best version of yourself and think of that. Okay, don't put any limitations on yourself, because the only person that can place a limitation on you is you. That's it. So when you want to imagine your visualization of who you're going to become, because you are going to become this person, so you need to see him very clearly. No limitations here. Only you can limit yourself. And your future has to exist in your imagination before it can exist anywhere else. This guy that you're building, this person you're going to become, these things that you're going to have in your life, these material possessions, this physique you're going to have, has to exist here before it happens anywhere else. You have to see it clearly before it ever becomes real. I like this quote by Albert Einstein. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. That is so true. If you can't see it here, it will never come to fruition. Now, this also, think about what I said before about positive self-talk, right? We don't want to trick our subconscious mind to have any limiting beliefs. The only belief that we have is the limitations we set on ourselves. Once you realize that, you could start telling yourself that you're going to become these things. Even if you don't believe it, you must continue to tell yourself that you're going to have everything you want. You're going to be everything you're going to be, because again, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. And the whole key to the law of attraction is mastering the subconscious mind. So that is our goal. Now this image, we need to make it very clear. Make the image clear and clean cut. Hold it firmly in your mind and you will gradually and constantly bring the thing nearer to you. You can be what you will to be. Now I put this picture here of Pablo Picasso with one of his pictures because that's literally how you have to treat this. The way this artist was, Pablo Picasso, with his pictures, there's a reason they were so famous, because he took so much time to go over every specific detail of the picture to make it unique and beautiful, right? So what we need to do is make the vision of who we're going to become very clear, detailed, clean cut. Hold it firmly in our minds, and the more we hold it in our minds, the more we make it more and more detailed, the more we constantly see it here, the closer it will come to us. But we have to continue to paint a more vivid picture as we go through it. So make sure that you are constantly adding pieces to this person that you're going to become in your mind. Keep making it more clear, more detailed, just like you're an artist sculpting a picture or painting a picture. The next step is effort. Okay, we have to have effort. The work is necessary if we're ever going to achieve these things that we want to achieve. It's not just work in your mind. We need real effort. Hard mental labor as well. The kind of effort that so few are willing to put forth. That's the kind of mental labor we need. What does that entail? That entails taking the time to meditate on these subjects, taking the time to really envision our future, taking the time to paint very vivid details. Not just saying, yeah, I want these things, or like, for example, I hear people say, I want to get jacked. Okay, bro, cool. What the fuck does that even mean? You want to get jacked? Do you want to be a certain weight? Do you want to look a certain way? Is it about the way you feel? What does it really even mean? Now, you need to look at every aspect of this man you want to become and break each one down into vivid detail. And that's going to take a lot of hard mental labor. It's not just going to come to you. You have to really, really take time to think about this. And the only way to do that is to, again, meditate on these things. What does that mean? Take 10-15 minutes a day. Sit in silence and just let your thoughts come to you and start to see that person. But it's going to take work. The amount of effort that would make failure impossible. So think about the amount of effort you think would get the result, and then there's another thing. That's the amount of effort that would make failure impossible, which means you have to do more than you even want to, more than you even think is possible. You have to just exceed your own expectations daily, because if you're really serious about becoming this man and really attracting the life you want and really becoming this person, you have to live it, breathe it, and bleed it. So that being said, the amount of effort you're going to have to put in is to make failure impossible. Now, you all know David Goggins. That's why I put the picture of him here. What is he known for? His insane amounts of effort, his insane mindset. That's the way that he puts effort into his runs, into his workouts. We need to put that effort into our minds of crafting this human being that we're going to become. If you're serious about becoming this person, that's the kind of effort it's going to take. This doesn't mean that we just get to, think and it just happens. No, there's going to take real work to get there. Now, idealization. This is the most important step. It's not even close. If you don't do this part, you're fucked. So listen, this is the foundation on which you're going to build your future. When an architect plans a 30-story building, he has every line and every detail pictured in advance. Literally all of it. So see the end before a single step is taken. Picture what you want and sow the seed. So really think about this, guys. This is the foundation. Okay, when you build a giant 30-story building, you need a solid foundation in order to build that. Otherwise, it's going to fucking fall. Same way, when an architect is building that 30-story building, he has every line and detail already laid out in his plans in advance. It's not like he's just going in there and just winging it. No, he's got it all mapped out. That's the way we need to be about who we're going to become. This idealization is by far the most important step. We have to see the end result. The guy with all the money and the girls and all the, and the physique and the happy family and the good relationships and the guy who loves himself in the mirror. We need to see every single detail of that all the way through to the end before we even begin. Before we could even take a step in the right direction, we have to see it clearly. And that's going to take a lot of work. Like you can see in this image here, I journal every day. I journal my thoughts. I write down the things I want. I'm constantly reaffirming my goals. Constantly meditating because I know the work it's going to take. And that's what I'm putting in now. Now let me be clear about this as well, guys. I don't have all the things I want, but I did manifest a fantastic physique and a lifestyle I love, and I love what I see in the mirror. And that took a lot of work. Now, there's still so many things that I want to achieve, and that's why I'm going to put in the effort to make failure impossible. So when you guys think about this, please understand. Think of an architect, okay? You are writing out the plans of who you're going to become. Every detail needs to be not neglected. Now, the general plan is going to be bland. It's going to be a little bit blurry. You're going to have a general idea, but you're not going to have the details, and that's fine. That's perfectly okay. It's perfectly normal. But in order to get the perfect details, in order to get the result you really want and really have that beautiful plan mapped out, it's going to take a lot of meditation, and the details will start to come to you. But it's going to take weeks and potentially months of meditation before the outline of who you're going to become takes true form. So again, it's going to take work, but if you master this part, you are in really, 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 really good shape, and you are really close. Now, next step. Now, we explained what visualization is, but now let's break down exactly how to use it. How do we apply the visualization, right? So we have to see the picture more and more complete, right? See all the details just like the architect did. As the details begin to unfold, the ways and means for bringing it into manifestation will develop, and this is called materialization. The architect visualizes the building, he sees it as he wishes it to be, and his thought becomes a plastic mold from which the building will eventually be emerged. So let's break this down. Again, we're going to see the image of who we're going to become in great detail. Every aspect of this person, we have to see it first. And as we get more and more detailed about this person, as the details begin to unfold, the answers of how to become that person will come to us. So don't be so caught up in the how I'm going to get there. First, focus on what you're going to become, who you're going to become. Once you master that, the ways and means to get there will just develop. You will figure it out as you go. Don't stress about that part. This is where so many people get it wrong because they're so worried about the how and the why instead of focusing on the end result and what that's exactly going to look like, and then just putting in imperfect action and effort, and eventually the answers come. I promise. Just stay consistent. Okay, so understand that when you're going into it. You're not going to have all the answers, and you never will. You never will. You just figure it out as you walk the path. But first you have to see the end result to build the path to walk. And then as you walk the path, don't worry. You will figure it out, I promise. So you can see, this is the Empire State Building. This is the Empire State Building here. Before they built the Empire State Building, do you think they just said, hey, let's get some materials and go for it? No, absolutely not. They had the whole fucking plan mapped out before they built this building. And that's why it's such a beautiful building. Because they looked at every single detail before they even started. So that's what we need to do. We need to really visualize it and see it. Now, faith. This is another very, 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 very important part of the law of attraction. If you can consciously follow the directions that we've gone over before this, you will develop the faith. The evidence of the things not seen. You will develop confidence that leads to endurance and courage, and you will develop the power of concentration. So if you can consciously follow the directions that we've just discussed, you will eventually develop the faith. Because once you can see the picture clearly and you start walking it, you'll understand you're not alone in this journey. The spiritual, right? The subconscious, the unknown, is said to be your connection to God, right? Your connection to the outer world. And you will be amazed at, once you see a clear vision of where you want to go, how this subconscious will just meticulously guide you there. Effortlessly. But you have to tap into it, and that takes work. So this is where the faith comes in. You will develop the faith. And if you want to double down on this journey, start developing a relationship with God, because that's going to help you tremendously. Now, the evidence of things not seen. Again, you'll have the evidence here before it ever comes to real life. So just see it clearly. Have the faith it's going to come about. It's going to come true. Understand in your mind this. The things you want, it's not a matter of if they're going to come, if you're going to get them. You are 150% going to get them. Understand that. And start operating your life in that direction. Having faith that I know it's coming already. For example, think of this. Here's where people get this wrong. Think of a job that you... Say you're going to get your dream job in the next 10 days, but you currently hate your current job. If that was the case, would you walk into your job over the next 10 days like, oh, I don't have my dream job? Or would you be walking into your job like, yes, it's almost over, the great job is coming, hooray? You'd have that great positive attitude, and that's the way you need to walk through life, even though you don't have the things you already want. So you will develop, confidence that leads to endurance and courage once you can see it here. The courage to take the leaps to get to the person you want to become. The courage to really believe, to have faith. And you will develop the power of concentration, because it's going to take great focus. Now, mental image. Again, clearness and accuracy are obtained only by repeatedly having the image in mind. So the only way to continue to have a clear and accurate image of who we're going to become, we need to constantly have the image in our mind. So we need to constantly be putting in work, never forgetting the exact image, constantly searching for more and more detail of this person we're going to become. We can't take a day off of this. It has to be a relentless amount of effort of just constantly seeing a clear and clearer, more concise image. So each repeated action renders the image more clear and accurate. So the more action we take, imperfect, I know you're not going to know the answers, you're going to be scared to do things, you just got to take the imperfect action, and then again, your image will become more clear and accurate of who you're going to become as you walk this path. And the more clear and accurate you are about the image, the more likely of the outward manifestation to occur. So the more clear and accurate, again, that we could be about this person we're going to become, the more likely we are for it to become real. We have to see it first. So you must take form in your mind before it could take form in the real world. It's called the world within. The world within is our minds, the way we think, the way we talk to ourselves. It has to take place here before it can ever come into the real world. Anything you see right now, look around at the room that you're in when you're watching this. Everything you see, the walls, the house, the desk that you're on, it all started with an image in somebody's mind, and then they went and built it. And that's what we're doing with our lives. It's the same principle. You cannot build without proper material. Think of a construction site. You can't go and just build a skyscraper if you don't have the whatever, the foundation, the steel, the sheetrock, the forklift, whatever the hell that you need, whatever, this crane, whatever. If you don't have the right materials, you can't build it. So we need to have the mental material to build it, right? Think of every brain cell as a worker in your mind. Okay, we need these workers to have the materials to build the life that we want to live. And in order to do that, we have to constantly keep working and giving them more and more materials. The materials is us painting more and more clear picture. To close up the mental image, there's 3 factors, right? And these 3 cannot fail to bring about you attaining the life that you want if you master them. Earned desire, confident expectation, and firm demand. So earned desire leads to confident expectation, and confident expectation leads to firm demand. Earnest desire is the feeling that we desire these things so badly in our life. The feeling of all the things that we want is our earnest desire, and that will lead to the confident expectation, which is the thought. We have the desire, and then we have the thought of what that looks like, right? We know what we want, and then we have the thought of what it all looks like, how it's going to feel, right? And we have to start manifesting this thought. And then from that breeds firm demand, which is the will. We have the want, we see it, and here comes the will. The effort that we're willing to put in to get it. The absolute relentless amount of mental work we're going to have to put in to get it. That is where it all comes into play. So if you master these 3 things, you cannot fail. And it's just a matter of time. Some things take longer than others. We're not on our time, we're on God's time. But what we can do is control what we can control, which is putting in the relentless amount of effort, because the more effort you put in, the faster you will attain everything that you want in your life. Feeling gives vitality to thought, and the will holds it steadily until the law of growth brings it into manifestation. So we have the feeling, and that breeds thought. And then the will is what takes the thought into manifestation. It's a clear cycle. So you can see there's an image of somebody meditating with their head down, and you can see exactly what they're thinking of. The money, the climbing the ladder, the love, right? And there's a magnet pulling it towards their mind. Because again, it's the will that gets us there. We have to see it constantly. The will is the effort. The effort is what's actually going to get us to what we want to achieve. Next is concentration and attention. Exclude all thoughts except the ones that are associated with your purpose. Concentrate on the world within, not the externals, not the money or not the body or the relationship or whatever. So breaking this down, exclude all thoughts except the one which are associated with your purpose. So block out all the noise, all the garbage, focus all your thought on your purpose, on the person you're going to become, and put all your attention and energy into that. Concentrate on the world within and not the externals. What does this mean? The externals are the things that we're actually trying to get, right? We're trying to get the money. We're trying to get the relationship with that other person. We're trying to get the body that we want. Those are the externals. But instead, what we need to do is focus on the world within, which is the internals. So what we really need to focus on, what we're really manifesting, is becoming the person worthy of everything that we want. So focusing on every single day, putting in the work. What's the needle moving thing I could do today? Right? Focusing on personal development, becoming a better human being, a more wise human being, a more hardworking human being. That's what actually needs all of our focus. Not saying every day, I don't have the thing. It's coming. I just have to work to get there. Well, what work do I need to do? Focus on the personal development, the world within, the mind, not the actual physical thing that we're trying to achieve, because that just comes with being the person worthy of that thing. So Look at this little image here. You become what you feed your mind. If you feed your mind shit, you're not gonna become shit. But if you feed your mind all positivity and your discipline and all that, you will have the things that you want. The mind, again, don't forget this, does not know the difference between the reality and what you tell it. It only knows what you tell it. So we have to speak kindly to ourselves. Those who pay no attention to the world without will seek only to ascertain the truth, will look only for wisdom, will find that this wisdom will unfold and disclose the source of all power, that it will manifest in the thought of purpose, which will create the external conditions desired. So basically, guys, pay no attention to the world without, the body, the relationship, the money. Pay no attention to that. And the only things we should be paying attention to is how to seek more truth, more wisdom, and that wisdom will take us exactly where we want to go. It will disclose the source of all power. It will manifest in thought and purpose, which will create the external the external conditions that we desire. So again, focus on the internal. Focus on our minds. Focus on the way we think. Focus on the things we're doing every day. Focus on the spiritual. Focus on creating the mental image, the visualization, the idealization. Focus on these things. Do not focus on, I don't have this yet. Because then you'll never have it. Our mind only attracts what we focus on. So if we're constantly focused on looking for wisdom in every situation, trying to learn from everything we do, once we have that mindset, we are so much closer to actually getting the things that we want. And not to mention, through this process, you'll feel so much more fulfillment and actually feel way happier as a human being. Focus only on the world within, and the world without will manifest. Now here's a great example of this, right? A man is in debt. He is constantly thinking about the debt, concentrating on it. And as thoughts are causes, the result is that he is not only bringing the debt closer to him, but he's actually creating more debt. So if a man's in debt, and all he can think about is that debt, and he's concentrating on it, those thoughts are going to result in him being closer to the debt, and in turn bringing him more debt. Now think of this. Let's say you actually are in debt, right? But your goal is to have a bunch of money. The focus should be, I'm going to have all this money. It's already coming. It's 100% guaranteed. And all I need to do is put the work in, and eventually it will come. So I know it's coming. I'm not stressed about the debt because it's coming. So you're not even thinking about the debt, because the debt's going to get taken care of when you have all the money. So the focus should be, what can I do each day? The money's coming. I know it's coming. The debt's going to be cleared. It's 100% a sure thing. I'm going to start living my life now as if I already have the money. And once you do that, then you really start to attract the things that you want. But when you're chasing something, you're pushing it away. So think of attracting, right? Don't think about the bad things. Think about the good things that are coming and live as if you already have them. And that's how you truly attract. Concentrate on the things you want only, not on the things you do not want. So all the bad things that you don't want to have in your life anymore, don't even fucking think about them. Don't concentrate on them at all. It's only the things that you want. Those are the only thoughts that should be going through your mind. That's it. Think of abundance. Visualize the condition that the law of abundance creates. Basically, what does that mean? Everything I just said. Think of the condition. Think of the traits that this person would have everything that you want. If you want the abundance, then become the person deserving of abundance and focus on those things, not the things you don't want to have, not the things that are stressing you in life, not the fact that you don't have a partner right now, not the fact that you don't have money, not the fact that you are in debt, not the fact that you don't have the job you want. Don't focus on those things, because then you'll get stuck there and you'll stay forever, because your mind only goes to where you focus on. And thoughts are causes that brings results. So the thoughts have to only be on the positive. Plant the seed and leave it undisturbed. This does not mean to do nothing. You're planting a seed. Doesn't mean just sit there and wait for the seed to grow. We will do more and better work than we have ever done before. Keep an open mind and be ready to act when the time comes. Imperfect action is required. So we're planting the seed, right? We're having it in our minds. We know where we want to go. We've got the seed planted. Now that seed has to grow. But in order for the seed of our lives to grow and progress, we have to work. We're not a plant. Okay? It's just a concept. Think of a plant, but in order for that plant to grow, imagine that it needed work. Right? If the plant wants to grow, it needs sunlight, it needs water. There's things that have to happen. It needs good soil. So the seed that we're planting of our future is going to need the same. It's going to need a good foundation, a good soil, right? A good belief system, good habits. It's going to need all these things to grow. So that's where our focus should be. Don't worry about not having the thing yet. Truly focus on the actions needed to be taken. Keep an open mind because eventually it's going to come, 100%. Okay, so let's just summarize. Let's break everything down. I want to make sure that you guys understand everything I've gone over. So let's just break it down. What is visualization? It's the process of making mental pictures. What is the result of this method of thought? By holding the image or picture in my mind, we can gradually but surely bring the thing nearer to us. We can be what we will to be. What is idealization? It is a process of visualizing or idealizing the plans which will eventually materialize in our objective world. Why are clearness and accuracy necessary? Because seeing creates the feeling, and the feeling creates being. First in the mental, then in the emotional, then the illimitable possibilities of achievement. How are they obtained? Each repeated action renders the image more accurate than the former one. How is the material for the construction of your mental image secured? By millions of mental workers. Brain cells, they are called. Your brain cells are your mental workers on the construction site of your future. How are the necessary conditions for bringing about the materialization of your ideal in the objective world secured? By the law of attraction, the natural law by which all conditions and experiences are brought about. What 3 steps are necessary in order to bring this law into operation? Earnest desire, confident expectation, and firm demand. And lastly, why do so many people fail? Because they concentrate on loss, disease, and disaster. The law is operating perfectly. The things they fear are coming upon them. The reason people that only focus on the negative keep getting more negative is because that's what they focus on. This is the law of attraction. You're attracting more negativity by thinking of the negative things in your life. So until you make the switch, you'll never have anything. So what is the alternative? Concentrate on the ideals which you desire to see manifested in your life. Now let's close out with an exercise. This is something that you can go ahead and start doing today as a practice of this, right? So do this exactly. Visualize your friend. See him exactly as you last saw him. See the room. See the furniture. Recall the conversation. Now see his face. See it distinctly. Now talk to him about some subject of mutual interest. See his expression change. Watch him smile. Can you do this? Okay, if you can, then arouse his interest. Tell him a story of adventure. See his eyes light up with the spirit of fun or excitement. Could you do all this? If so, your imagination is good and you're making excellent progress. So to break this down, the reason you're doing this is because it's a practice of your imagination. If you want to create the best version of yourself, you have to see it here first, right? So we need to do practice reps to build a better imagination. And this is an exercise that you can do today because remember, it's going to take the effort that would make failure impossible. You guys got this. If you have more questions, book a call in the description. Otherwise, guys, focus on only the things that you want. You got this, guys. I'll see you soon.